Hey, it's Rasmus over here. Today is episode 6 of How to Run Faster, and today I'm going to be focusing on Olympic lifts. So, this is just the basic overview of Olympic lifts, why you should be doing them, the reasons behind doing them, and the way that they basically fit in the training program. So, first of all, I'm gonna pretty much explain this. Olympic lifts are pretty technical lifts. So, we have the clean and the snatch. These two moves are very hard to master, I would say. So when you're doing these things, best to get somebody who knows what they're doing. Otherwise, you can learn by yourself, looking on YouTube videos, constantly looking at them, practicing with very lightweight. So starting off with very lightweight, say even just a bar, and just going through the movements continuously. So yeah, you have to do this repeatedly over and over just to get used to it because they are very hard to learn. It's a difficult skill to master, but in the end, it pretty much pays off a lot. So the first thing I like to talk about is with Olympic lifting is the clean. So with athletes, most of them will do the power clean, as you can see what I'm doing. So with the power clean, that is you're lifting the bar, and when you catch it at the top position, your knees, your knees, your hips are gonna be like at a 90-degree angle at most. Since this is a lighter weight, I'm catching it a lot higher, but as the weight gets heavier, your knees will probably be landing like where I start off in that position. So that's where you'd probably catch it, and that's considered a power clean. A full clean is when you go straight down to the bottom. The other movement that you will probably use is the snatch, and yeah, I do a few snatches at the end, and that's a more explosive movement. And that's the basic idea of Olympic lifts. These are very explosive movements, and they translate a lot, especially in track. So with explosive movements, um, when you hit the ground, you get the most force out of the ground that you can. So one thing Olympic lifts emphasize is triple extension. Triple extension is when your ankles, knees, hips, and pretty much your top of your body are all straight in line. And this is the point I would say that you just leave when you're jumping. So when you do a jump, you're crashing down, you jump up, and at that point where your toes are still touching the ground and everything's straight up in the air, that's what you call triple extension. Triple extension is pretty important, especially in the starting phase. When you're gonna push out of the blocks, you're gonna extend your body, and you see this a lot that people don't get that full extension, and you don't really generate that much power out of the blocks. And so if you're doing these snatches, the cleans, they're pretty excellent in getting that movement in line. So it teaches you to use your hips a lot more, which people don't use as much, and pretty much generate the most amount of power from your hips that you can. So with Olympic lifts, one thing I do emphasize is make sure you practice a lot with pretty much any weight training. After a while, you can get a little bit weaker, so it's best to do just continual practice, especially with lightweight. Starting snatches, they're pretty difficult to learn, understand. I'm getting the hang of it myself, but yeah, over time you do kind of lose that motor pattern, that strength even. So it's best just to practice consistently, over and over. One exercise actually I would like to talk about is also the snatch pull. This is basically uh, a clean without the racking part where you catch the bar. And you see a lot of the Olympic lifters, they can do pretty heavy weights. And I think this one thing that actually emphasizes triple extension the most. I do a few snatch pulls or clean pulls. You can do clean pulls or snatch pulls. I do a few of them now. You can see, not still trying to get the movement down, but yeah, it's a lot of work in progress. I would also suggest like with Olympic lifts, do it on a day that you're not training, or or like a weightlifting day specifically. If you are training and you want to do some, best off doing some lightweight. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the video. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!